1, 2, 3. Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed.
Beating themselves like a broken record. You're so cool. You're so cool. You're so cool.
Hello,
Hi, welcome.
it's us
It's Tessa
and Nicole.
from Doom Generation, if you didn't know that.
And Liana is here.
Yep, she's our mentor, or Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
She
wait.
can be our mentor.
That's supposed to be Elvis. Shh,
Oh,
shh,
don't tell anybody it's Elvis.
Don't tell anybody.
Because it is the 30th anniversary. Get ready to feel old of True Romance.
Get ready to feel old. Yay!
But we're not quite as old as our Lord and Savior Christian
Oh my
Slater,
God,
whose
who we
birthday is
just found
today.
out today. It
Today
is
while we're recording, not when you're
today
hearing
on
this.
recording day, August 18th. It is Christian Slater's birthday today,
Yep.
which we didn't know until we showed up to record. So that
It's
was
fate. It's fate.
He's here to bless us. Bless us, Christian. Bless us.
So let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Christian Slater as Clarence Worley.
Whirly. Whirly.
Patricia Arquette as Alabama Worley.
Well, or Whitmar.
Whitman,
Nay,
or
Whitman.
Yeah,
Whitmar?
Whitman, I think.
Whitman, whatever,
What-
yeah.
They never said before.
Yeah, they
she
really
got
didn't.
married.
It was just on the list.
Dennis Hopper as Clifford Worley. Worley. I can't
Whirly.
say it right.
Gary Oldman is Drexel Spivey.
Brad Pitt is Floyd.
Oh, Brad Pitt. Christopher Walken as Vincenzo. Cacati.
You knew it was coming. Any movie with Christopher Walken.
I'm going to have
She
to
can't
tell
help it.
you about the scooching.
Bronson Pinchot
Oh,
as
Bronson
Elliot
Pinchot.
Blitzer.
Rise and fall
On the wings of my dreams. You guys, you
It's
love
been
Perfect
stuck in my head
Strangers.
since
Come on.
this morning when I was
Balky
watching this
Bartaka
movie.
Moose.
Oh, we must do the dance of joy.
Samuel L. Jackson for a second as
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Don.
That's right. I had that in here too. James Gandolfini as Virgil. Michael Rapaport
As Dick Richie.
Dick Richie. That was going to be his stage name. That was gonna be his
Right?
nom
That's
de
what you're
plume.
going with in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Dick Richie.
Dick Richie. I mean, I guess it's good. I guess
It's
it's
fine.
good. Dick Richie.
It's better than Tom Sizemore's character's name, which is Cody Nicholson.
But
He's
it's-
not not that there's anything wrong with that name, but for
No.
Tom Sizemore,
I know Cody Nicholson.
as a badass detective, Cody.
But speaking of made for him, Chris Penn is Nicky Dimes.
Dimes, come on.
Nicky Dimes.
He's such a Nicky Dimes.
Oh, he's such
You're
a
such
Nicky
Nicky
Dimes.
Dimes. Saul Rubinek as Lee,
Lee Donowitz
and Val Kilmer,
as the mentor, who looks suspiciously like Elvis.
Yes.
They
And this
talk
is,
about Elvis a lot.
They do. This is written by Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery.
Yep, and we'll see that specter of Quentin pop up
No feet,
several
though.
times. No feet, no, which was weird.
Because he didn't direct it.
Well,
Tony Scott
that's
don't have a
true.
foot fetish.
Tony Scott doesn't have a foot fetish.
Now
The
we
closest they got, Tony Scott was like, "We're gonna have a corkscrew go through someone else's foot, a man's foot.
Yeah, that's all we're getting.
That's all
your
we're
only
getting.
foot play. Show
the
you
only
what it's
foot
like.
play you're getting, Quentin."
And so, yeah, do we want to talk at all about how many dead people are in this movie? Speaking of Tony Scott,
So many dead people.
Chris Penn, Tom Sizemore, James Gandolfini.
Conchata Ferrall.
Is that it? Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper, which I had forgotten. Now, now you forgot.
No, I forgot.
I was like, yesterday we were talking about it, and she was like, "Oh, because we're talking about how many dead people are in this movie." And she's like, "Oh yeah, Dennis Hopper." I was like, "Dennis Hopper's not dead."
I looked it up. I'm like
In
13 years
2010.
ago, girl.
I was like, "How did I miss that?" He's been haunting me for 13 years.
You just thought he was still alive. This
He's
whole
just
time?
been there. He's been in my house.
So we meet Clarence.
Yes, he's at a bar and he's talking to Darla from The Crow.
Yes.
This was her other job, or this is what she get off of her job. She would go to this.
Well, once
bar
her boyfriend
sometime.
got killed by the crow,
That's right.
she became a call girl.
She moved on
Just hangs
to
out at the bar.
greener pastures, I guess, in Detroit.
And he's, of course, talking to her about Elvis.
Of course. And he's like in love with Elvis.
Oh,
if he had to fuck a guy.
If he had to.
If he really had to.
If my life depended on it.
I bet you he'd just fuck Elvis.
Yeah, he would.
He'd at least make out with Elvis.
Oh, for sure.
If Elvis wanted to. But he's not a teenage girl, so Elvis wouldn't want to.
No.
No.
And he asked this girl out to a Sunny Chiba triple feature.
Oh, hello, Quentin.
And she's like, no.
Yeah, she politely
Not my cup of
declines.
tea.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Thanks, but good night. And she seems to struggle to get out of that.
She's
bar
like
stool.
Darla. She's
I
like
know.
fucking high or something, or
She
she's
got
drunk.
back on the smack. Back on smack.
Probably.
But yeah. So anyhow, we have the voiceover.
Yes,
right?
Alabama's voiceover coming from the highways and byways,
of Tallahassee, Florida,
all the way to Detroit to find my true love.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, we got her whole voiceover setting us up.
Right.
And-
If you would have told me a million years or I wouldn't have thought in a million years that true love and Detroit would go together. But
Oh,
Oh,
a
here we
Detroit
are.
love story.
it's cute. A chance meeting.
And
at
I
the
guess
triple
you
feature.
should have known that our hero survives just from this beginning monologue because she's asking Clarence currently,
Right.
why does our world seem to be collapsing? So it's
Right.
like that kind of gives away.
I know, but I guess you don't really think about it.
'Cause that's
it's just
after the
because you don't know
story.
you don't know what's
true.
going
You
on.
don't know what's
so,
going on yet. So Clarence goes alone to the Kung Fu triple feature.
Yeah, she comes in. She's got her big old bucket of popcorn.
And just
I know.
adorable through this whole fucking movie.
Like seriously, her little snaggle tooth is part
Oh,
of my
I love
religion.
it.
It's one of the chapters in my
Oh,
Bible.
yeah.
So just know that.
Perfect. Love her teeth. Love her teeth.
I love it.
And she comes into the movie late, spills her popcorn all over him.
Yeah, she's like, "Can you fill me in?" And he's like, "I guess."
Right? Well, but this is what he wanted. He wanted the
Right.
pretty blonde girl to go see this triple feature, and he was going to have to explain this shit to Darla, too.
I guess.
So
I mean, I guess
might as
that's
well.
true. Well, like she's just like, "What did I miss?" Like I could pay
Yeah,
attention.
just tell
from
me
there.
what I
so
missed.
she hops over the seat. She lights her little cigarette. Mind if I smoke? And
He's trying to
starts telling her-
seriously explain,
Right.
and she's just flirting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Whatever.
And afterwards, she's adorable. They're play fighting outside. She got really into the.
Of
I mean,
course.
what was that? 6 hours of kung fu movies? You would get into
3
it.
movies?
You would
Yeah.
come out fucking kung fu
Well,
fighting.
those are good movies.
Right?
They're good movies. They're entertaining.
Yeah.
You would definitely come out swinging and kicking because it's fun.
Hell yeah.
It's fun.
And after the movies, she likes pie.
She likes to go out and get a piece of pie and talk about it.
Do you want to go have pie?
You like pie?
He does.
Oh, he like pie.
She's my cherry pie. And he's given her his Elvis spiel immediately.
Right.
Over pie.
He
Can't
he's like,
let 5 minutes pass.
No,
It was
and
Sonny
like-
Chiba, now it's Elvis immediately.
Right, and we don't even hear the whole thing where he just like wraps it up like you already know, like he's wrapping up his Elvis speech.
Right.
That he probably tells everybody that he meets like Forrest Gump.
Yes. And he asks her the standard Playboy centerfold questions, basically.
They are
Favorite
that.
color. Is that exactly what
That's
they
exactly
are?
what they are.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And she's, I don't know, I don't care.
Burt
whatever.
Reynolds, Phil Spector, Mickey Rourke is her turn
God.
on. Which
Back
Mickey
then.
Rourke? Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh my God.
And he wants to know if she's got a fella.
Right. Ask me that later.
It's complicated.
Red flag.
And so she told him basically nothing about
Right.
herself.
No.
He doesn't know anything about this girl. Which,
They're
okay,
just,
whatever.
But they seem like they're having
They're having a good
genuine,
time. They
like,
got
good time.
vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got vibes. It's all vibes. It's vibes, baby.
And he wants to know, why'd you sit by me in an empty theater?
Right.
You just look like a nice guy.
Right.
Sure,
so
sure, sure.
where to next? So he takes her to the comic book store where he works and is like, yeah,
And she is way into it. She's like,
oh yeah,
what a
like, all
swell
of this
place
is-
to work.
Yeah, like this is a cool place to work. He's like, yeah, the owner lets me come by and hang out every once in a while. And do you want to see what a Spider-Man #1 looks like? Which-
right? Which we have a
we know
comment
it's
later
not a
that
Spider-Man.
apparently it's not a Spider-Man number one. He shows
I
her.
wouldn't
We'll
even
get
have
to it.
known.
I would not have. Would not have.
I mean, I know that there's people that take this shit seriously. I know there are, but I wouldn't have known.
And everything that we're missing is most likely going to be in our new feature at the end of the show, where everyone
Right.
else tells us all the things we didn't
Right?
know
The
about
things
this
that
movie.
you didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, I also learned something else I didn't know when we were looking up the honey bear thing about the Dennis Hopper.
Oh, with the gun.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that when we get there.
But yeah.
So they're making out. They're
man, like,
having
yeah,
sex. We get a little
got
noggles and titties.
We get that blue light fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Blue light, white drapery under the watchful eye of Elvis Presley's.
Yes, of course. And he wakes up and she's after sex, whatever. He
Right,
passed
she's-
out after. He wakes up and
on
she's out on the
billboard,
fucking
like,
billboard
crying,
outside.
smoking, wrapped up in a blanket.
And she's got to tell him something.
Right. She was paid to be there.
His boss told her it was his
She's
birthday.
a call girl, not a whore. There is a difference.
And she's only been a call girl for 4 days.
4 days. And when it comes to being monogamous, I'm 100%.
Yes. If I'm with you, I'm with you, and I don't want nobody else.
Oh, and he's like, well, you like Elvis, you like kung fu movies, you like the Partridge Family. She's like, well, actually,
I don't like the
I don't like that was part of the act. She's like, and I think I love you.
She's in love.
And he's like, if I say it, throw caution to the wind, let the chips fall where they may, and you're fucking with me, and you're lying to me, I'll fucking die.
Yeah.
I'll fucking die.
And she's not, and she will not lie to him ever again from this
this
moment
day forward.
So
they
they
get married.
immediately get married.
They get married. They get tattoos.
I thought I got tattooed and married fast. We got our
Right?
tattoos 3 months, and we got married 1.5 years. We'd been together, which was fast for us.
well, we got.
But this is
I got a tattoo
the next
to
day?
cover for something else. I was throwing him a surprise party, and I went and got a tattoo. That's why I was gone so long. But it's just an initial.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. It's already like worn off. It's behind my ear. It was. On
Yeah,
my
we don't
head.
have each other's names.
No, it's
we
not
just
like
have
a
like
full name.
coordinated tattoos
Right,
or whatever
no,
that go
nothing
together.
Like that. But I mean, whatever. It's been. Oh,
But yeah, so
actually,
this is-
speaking of which, the day this airs is my 14th wedding anniversary.
Oh,
Christian
congratulations!
Slater's birthday today on recording day and the day of.
It comes out on a truly romantic day.
A truly romantic. Well, we're not like this. This is
No,
this
you
is
guys.
madness.
No. Yeah, there. So immediately, white weddings playing. They get
White
tattooed,
wedding.
and he asks her about her pimp.
Right, like the tattoo artist is like,
I know they just sitting hearing all this, like, oh damn, okay.
okay, and she's like, yeah.
And wants to know if he treated her decent, and she's like, well, I was only there 4 days.
You ever hear about a nice pimp though? Have you ever heard of a nice?
Remember that Kids in the Hall sketch?
Oh.
That's the only nice pimp I ever
Well,
seen. When
because that's
Kevin
why-
McDonald was the
that's
pimp.
That's why it's a
And
fucking
he was
joke.
smaller than both of his sex workers. He was like all tiny
Oh
next
my
to them.
God. I remember like
the
years and
nicest
years
pimp.
ago when I was like, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 years old. And I didn't know what a pimp was, obviously. And I asked my grandma, not knowing what it was, like, Grandma, what's a pimp?
She's all, that's that hoe spice. Liana told
Not
us
the
earlier her daughter
hospice.
was trying to read the word hospice and was like, what's a hoe spice? So
That's
I had to throw that in there.
That's that Spice Girl they dropped early.
So then we meet Drexel
Yes.
back at, was it like a hotel or was that his
I
apartment or
thought
something? I
that
don't know.
was his place.
Doesn't
He seemed
matter.
like he had that. Oh, no. He was at a hotel. 'cause
Yeah,
they were
this
doing
part
the drug
doing the
thing.
drug transaction,
Yes,
right?
yes. I feel like they're all there talking about,
Eating pussy.
I mean,
If you say you don't eat pussy, you lying. I
Right.
eat pussy,
He's like,
the butt,
I eat
every
pussy, I eat the
motherfucking
butt.
thing.
I ate the pussy.
I ate the butt. He is not picky.
He is not a
Smoke enough
picky
sherm,
eater.
your ass will do a lot of things. And I'm
Right.
like, is this Lord Nikon who don't eat pussy? Was that
Right?
Lord Nikon from Hackers?
Yes, they don't
Talking
eat
about
pussy.
he don't eat
doesn't eat
pussy.
pussy.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
they're obviously not like Adam West at all because as
right.
we all know,
There's no Batman to be seen.
ate the pussy.
And Drexel, he's fucking. I don't know.
Well,
I
he
guess
was like,
this
I'm
was so
gonna
he didn't
do
have
a
to pay
little-
for these drugs. Was
I
he the
guess
guy he
he's
was
like,
buying?
I'm gonna do a little demonstration. So like the guy gets up because he gets all like, "Fuck you, man! Fuck you, man!"
He's all mad about eating pussy for some reason.
Like
I'm
they're
like,
like,
you're
well,
real
if you do enough
defensive.
sherm, like, well, because you know how it is, man. It's all these dick swinging, mother for these Quentin Tarantino conversations.
Yeah.
Because that's what all of this is.
Yes.
This is just the shit that's going on in that gigantic fucking skull of his.
That 7 head. And Drexel just blows this dude away.
Right,
He blows
he
Lord Nikon away.
He,
Takes his drugs.
not Lord Nikon.
Right? That's the only way I can think of him.
Is that him?
I think so. Wait.
No.
Find out who the actor was that played Lord
I don't
Nikon in
think that was
Hackers, and then
him.
look it up. But it was the hat or something. I don't know. Made me think of him.
The hat.
Wasn't he wearing a hat?
He was wearing a
Yeah.
hat.
So back to Clarence and Bama watching Kung Fu at home.
Right.
Clarence is brooding about something.
Yeah, he's like all upset, and he goes to the bathroom, which of course is also another thing associated with Elvis Presley.
Which is the only place he speaks to.
Which was another thing that we discovered today. Like, you know
Right?
what? He also only appears in bathrooms.
Uh-huh.
So anyhow, he goes in there and
Elvis gets
the
him all
mentor is
fucking hyped
right?
up.
He was like, "Well, can you live with it?"
It is him. It is Lord Nikon.
it is
okay.
okay. All right. I just didn't recognize
We
him without
only
the
see
lever,
him for 60
lever
seconds
vest.
or something before he gets blown away. So
Didn't recognize him without the leather vest.
he didn't have a photographic memory. So
No, he wasn't telling me about that. He was just talking about pussy.
okay.
So anyhow,
So yeah, Elvis is hyping him up to like, can you live with that son of a bitch breathing the same air as you every day?
Put him down like a dog. No one gives a shit about a pimp.
You're getting away with it's easy. Cop don't give a fuck about a pimp.
Right. He's got a few delusions, I see. He's very, what we talked about earlier is Travis Bickle
Right.
taxi driver thing, and then we went and looked it up, and yes, indeed,
Tony Scott told
him
Christian Slater to watch Taxi
this for
Driver as homework.
So
And Elvis likes him. Always has.
always will. So he's like, "I'm gonna go pick up your stuff." And
Yeah, he
she's
puts
like,
a
"Come
gun
on."
in his sock and gets ready to rock.
Right. She's like, puts a gun in his sock and he's ready to rock.
I'm a poet and I
Nicole
didn't
with
even
the-
know it.
She's got taglines. If she was an action movie, that's what her.
That's one of mine.
Yeah, that's
Put
what
my gun in my sock and I'm ready to rock. Get my shit and get. So yeah, he has her write down where he can find her stuff.
Chickle.
Yep.
All
He
right.
wants to know where can I find her stuff and leaves her there watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Look, I don't need any of that shit.
Right,
Let's
like,
just
I-
disappear."
Well, yeah, like I just don't want to. I don't want anything to do with any of that. And he's like, "No, you have to know that I'm the type of guy
Who's gonna protect
that
you?
that can protect you, and that I'm gonna take care of you, and whatever." And like, all right, okay.
So he takes his purple Cadillac over to Drexel's pad. I love this car.
Cadillac, get
Right?
in the back. That's just how it goes.
He puts his Elvis shades on, goes to the door,
He's so cool.
asks about Alabama or whatever.
He's like, "I'm here about Alabama." So he's like, "Okay." So Marty,
I think.
Marty
Yeah.
takes him in to see Drexel, who's
Who's
sitting
eating
there
some Chinese food.
having some takeaway.
Where the fuck's that bitch?
Yeah, we're that stupid bitch. And this
I'm her
This
husband.
wig is the same wig maker that made the Dracula butt wig.
Yes, right. You sent me
For
that thing.
he so loved
The butt wig.
wig. He had the wig maker make him yet another one. And I guess also
Wig maker, make
Make
me
me
a
a
wig.
wig. Weave me some weaves. Quiffs me some quiffs. What else was about how Gary Oldman just heard like what his character was gonna be and didn't even
need to see the script.
like he was like, "Yeah, no, I'll do it," which is disturbing.
I get to play
Not
a Rasta
disturbing?
pimp. I'm in.
Right?
I'm in. Have a seat, boy. Grab yourself an egg roll.
Grab an egg roll. There's some everything here from Delight Joe to Damned If I Know.
It's all. It is pretty amusing.
I
This
know,
whole-
like it's that's what I'm saying because we were talking about this earlier, where he's not in it for very long.
No.
But
And like
it's such
even
a-
though he is scary and intimidating, he's so goofy
Oh, I know.
that I don't know that I could have been that frightened
Well,
of Drexel.
you know
what I
what?
mean?
You know what? There's another side to that. Is that I forget which comedian even said it, but like how insane he has to be,
Right.
To have
think
the
he's
kind
okay
of like
to
respect,
live this way. Yes.
to have the kind of like they're allowing this to happen. People
Right.
are allowing you to live this kind of life, and you're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
What fuckery must you have gotten up to walk around like that?
He must have killed a lot of people or beat some asses.
He
for
must
sure.
have killed a lot of people.
Must have killed a lot of people.
He ate the pussy. He ate the butt.
And then there's the whole thing about how he can tell he's scared because on TV is a woman with her breasts hanging out. You
And all
ain't
you
bothered
do-
to look.
You've been clocking me.
I know I'm pretty, but not as
Not
pretty
pretty
as
as
a
some
couple of
couple of
titties. And the whole
he's
time
like,
he's like swinging that lamp
right,
at him.
like,
Like,
he does a lot of acting with this lamp, which I love.
Yes.
This lamp, I love lamp. I love lamp.
it's a beautiful lamp.
I'm like a moth. I love it.
But he's
yeah.
not eating because he ain't hungry. And he's
And
not
I'm
sitting and watching it because he's seen it.
7 years ago. It's the Mac.
He knows all about,
And
he
I'm
knows
not
what movie
scared.
this is.
I just don't like you.
And like,
Which
he comes in with some
Respect.
big brass balls for a
Respect.
comic book shop fucking
Well,
clerk,
that's what
not
I'm
even
saying,
the
'cause
owner
he's
of the
gotta be
comic book shop.
delusional. This is that.
He's watched
Travis
so
Bickle
many
shit.
Sonny Chiba movies and
That's
Elvis
what I'm
movies.
saying. Like all of that shit. Like he's got it built up this fantasy in his mind, which I guess is bold move, Cotton.
This
but
baller
it does
move
end
right
up
here,
working
he
out for
offers him an envelope for his peace of mind.
It's not worth
It's
one penny
fucking
more, and it's fucking
empty.
Boo!
What we got here? Motherfucking Charlie Bronson.
Right?
And so he's like, no, none of this is necessary. I'm just trying to lend a girl a helping hand.
And then boop!
beats the
Fight.
shit out of
Right?
Clarence.
Like he's got him down. He's beating the shit out of him. And he calls him white boy.
Yeah. Fuck with me, white boy? You
Right?
motherfucking crazy.
Right?
Must have thought it was white boy day.
Hey, Marty, is it white boy day?
Mm-mm.
It's not white boy day.
Shit, boy, you done fucked up again.
Right. So he's like, he gets his,
His
wallet and he
wallet.
takes out his ID and he reads out
Clarence
the address.
Worley.
Right. And
That sounds like a name we're not gonna say.
that sounds
the kind
like
of name that
so
we're not gonna repeat.
repeat.
Yes.
And then he sends Marty to go get that stupid bitch.
Get Alabama's dumb ass back
yeah.
here.
So
Clarence shoots him. in the
while
dick.
Marty's looking for his jacket,
Yeah.
he shoots him right in the dick
he
like
does
he's
a RoboCop. Yes, he does.
I almost wore that shirt over here just because
Of that.
I'm like, we're not doing RoboCop.
So Clarence tells one of the other girls to go pack up Alabama's things in a bag, and he's over Drexel. Open your fucking eyes, and he shoots him
he's
over
like, look
and
at
over.
me. Fuck, dude.
Piece of shit.
Right?
He goes,
And like,
yeah.
there's chaos and shit. So like, he's not
Well,
planning.
yeah, he got his ass beat. It's not like he
Oh,
just
yeah.
started shooting out of nowhere.
No. He was down and he played it cool enough.
He
to
knew
where
that Alabama, that even if he got away alive, that they were sending
At
him for
least-
Alabama. So it's like, well, I
Well,
better
that's
fucking do
also
something.
true.
So,
But I'm saying about like all the chaos in the moment that's how he ended up with that bag. That
oh
it wasn't
right,
a
because he was
plan.
trying to get Alabama's things.
He was
he
just
thought
trying
that's
to get
what
her
that
shit
was.
and get.
Yeah,
He was just trying to get
her shit and get.
But you know, it was the other gals that grabbed the wrong one. I guess.
yeah, they just grabbed the wrong bag.
I mean, you would think that if they had known what was in there, they're probably like, "Oh, here, we'll put some shit in that bag and send
Right?
it along."
So he
Drexel's
comes
dead.
home all beat up
Mm-hmm.
with dinner, though. Like, look at this man.
I know.
This man went to go fight for you, almost died, and stopped for dinner.
I
Hello,
know.
dream man.
Right? I mean, he was hungry. He was fucking
He was
starving.
starving, but he got her food too. He didn't
I
just
know.
come home with
He
food
didn't
for
just
himself.
come home. Could you imagine if he got like a tray of fucking chili fries and just ate it? A deluxe, a
Chili-cheese fries?
But yeah, like if he just ate it in front of her, drinking down that big Kahuna burger and the big Kahuna shake.
So he tells her he killed Drexel, and she starts to cry.
He's like, "What the fuck are you crying for? You love him?"
And she's like, "No,
No,
it's so romantic."
Oh man, you killed my pimp for me.
Oh, I love it. I love you. And then the bag he brought does not have her clothes in it.
No,
It just has a ton of cocaine.
so much.
How am I going to wear this? I'm going to make a cocaine bag dress?
It's got like Michael cocaine in it.
Michael cocaine.
Michael cocaine in it.
So he goes to visit his dad.
Yes, he
Dennis
shows
Hopper.
up. Here go Dennis Hopper. It's Clarence daddy,
He hasn't seen him in 3 years.
right? He goes over there to introduce Alabama, but also to try to get some information.
Because dad's an ex-cop.
Right. And he's like, "You were the last person I would have expected to see here at 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
in the morning. Like, you need to slow down.
Come in here
You're
like
just
a
your
goddamn
fucking mother.
bulldozer. Yeah.
Just like your goddamn mother. Slow down." So he sends Bama
To get
a
some
liquor
beer.
store, go get beer, even though his dad's a recovering
I
alcoholic.
know he's like, you can have beer, can't you? Is it
Yeah,
alcohol?
but I
Like,
just
no.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
But I'm not gonna.
I'm not going to drink myself to death in this trailer down by the railroad tracks, Clarence.
So he tells daddy he's in big fucking trouble and
Right.
he needs help.
He's like, have I ever asked you for shit? When you took off, when you were drunk,
Mm-hmm.
when you did all of that, did I ever say shit? No. I'm pretty resourceful. I'm
Right.
pretty resourceful. I'm giving you that Christian Slater.
If I didn't need
Didn't
the
need
help, I wouldn't ask. Yeah.
So Now we cut to Dick Richie.
Is at an audition.
Dick Richie. He's reading for the bad guy part.
Reading with Conchata Farrell.
Conchata.
And he says what? Like one sentence, and she's all, "Thank you, Mr. Richie. I'm very impressed. You're a very
driving.
fine actor. Thank
driving.
you."
Ma, that fucking cat is back again.
If he had done that in the audition.
Oh my God. I
That
love
shit cracks me up. I do love those Michael Rapaport cat videos.
Michael Rapaport.
Because I didn't realize who it was the first time I saw one of those, and I didn't realize it was fake.
Yeah.
So I just thought some crazy man was yelling at a cat in his yard until I realized, yes. I was like, oh, it's a bit. It's Michael Rappaport doing a bit. Okay. Still funny, but it was hilarious when I thought it was real. So, yeah, we'll let you know. We'll let you know.
Don't call us. We'll call you.
Yes. So, Alabama's doing cartwheels for Clarence.
Oh, yeah. One-handed.
Out there waiting for Dad's friend to look up what's up with the drugs. Are they after me for Drexel? What's happening?
Like, I need you to find out. And he was like, no. It all has something to do with, I think it's drug related.
Blue Lou Boyle.
You know him? It's like, nope. He's like, oh, good. He's a gangster and a drug dealer. And somebody found out. If somebody found that out, they would want your ass.
Right. They're going to be, you don't want them after you.
Right. So, but once you leave town, there shouldn't be any reason to worry.
Right. Everyone thinks Blue Lou killed him because he doesn't know about the fucking sack of drugs.
Right. He doesn't know nothing about
Which,
that.
And there was never a conversation after this conversation where Clarence was like, wait a minute. Do I have Blue Lou Boyle's drugs?
Right.
Like your dad just told me I don't want him after me. Should I maybe be, you know what I mean? Like not leave my address with on my dad's fridge or wherever the fuck.
Right, or at least warn him like,
warn him.
Dad.
Oh shit, because he's on my ass.
Come clean at that point, not get your fucking dad killed, spoiler alert.
So he gives his dad
I guess
Dick's
you're not
info,
supposed to say the thing and then say spoiler
and
alert
then
afterwards. I guess that kind of defeats the purpose, huh?
So he gives him Dick's info and says, "This is where we'll be." Tells Alabama to give Pops a kiss goodbye, and
she like macks him. Yeah.
And damn, she do taste like a peach.
Oh, that's disgusting. When he tells his dad earlier
that she tastes like a peach. Don't tell your father that.
What did you turn into Drexel right now?
Don't tell your father.
Don't be telling your father that. It's disgusting.
So yeah, underdog gets a badass hot girl. Daddy affirms his hero status. I think you did the right thing.
Right,
like all his dreams are coming true.
Yes.
Besides getting his ass kicked the night before.
Well, I mean, but he seems like he could take a licking.
I guess.
Keep on ticking. He got his ass kicked.
He did.
And then he gets shot. Spoiler alert.
A lot of people about to get fucked up. So Clarence calls Dick from a payphone at the side of the road. Hello, baby. Clarence. And puts Alabama on the phone immediately. I'm bringing my lovely
you
wife.
got married. And then after they have the whole conversation, read the letter. They have this like really
hot banging in the payphone with trucks blasting by.
Oh. Yes.
Yes. With her little, is this the polka dot? The little off the shoulder?
The cow skirt.
Yeah.
Girl,
she do white trash chic like
she
no
bought
other.
It at Versailles.
So this is we'll take a break after this part.
Right.
Daddy Wardley comes home from work. And a man puts a gun to his head and knocks him unconscious.
Yep. And he was uncomfortable with having the guns pointed at his face. And he gets pistol whipped and tied to a chair. No, he's not tied to a chair. He's just...
No, I think he was sort of... They had his hands behind his back. So he was either tied or cuffed
tied
or
up
something.
or whatever. And he's like on this chair. He's stuck on the chair. And he's like, do you know who I am?
Yeah, Christopher Walken is there.
Do you know who I am? I'm the
Antichrist. Who got me
in a vendetta kind of mood.
So he explains he is consul for Mr. Blue Lou Boyle, who your son stole from.
Uh-oh. And he's going to question Pops. And he's like, I haven't seen Clarence. So Vincent pops.
You see that? Bam!
Right in the fucking face. Right in the mouth.
Smarts, doesn't it?
Oh,
No, slammed him in the nose.
Yeah, smarts.
Fucks you all up.
Mm-hmm. And
but he's
they already know that he was there yesterday. Yeah, they've been talking to the neighbors.
They saw your fucking car.
The neighbors?
Yeah. The neighbors told on him.
Who? The dogs?
I think it was sort of a trailer park. Like it wasn't super enclosed, but I think there was other trailers on those tracks.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Okay. Though. I don't know.
Hey, it looks sparse. I don't know what those people be up to. It looks like one of those child molester communities where they just put them out the edges of town where they can't have access. I mean.
Yeah. So he sheds some light on what's going on for Daddy.
Right.
And tells him that your son came in like a cowboy and blazed and didn't stop till everyone was dead. A massacre.
Right.
All this
and
stuff is like, no. So did they actually kill
Did
all
they
those
kill
people
everybody else?
after?
I mean, that's what
I don't know. They
don't
never
know
showed that.
because, I mean, yeah, he's like, well, I mean, I don't know if he's trying to do it for dramatic effect, like your son's a mad dog.
Right. But
he
your
already knows
son
he's
left
not.
his driver's license in a dead guy's hand. Oh, Clarence.
Clarence, that's how you know he's not a fucking
And
bad
this still,
guy.
at no point does Clarence in this movie ever go,
Oh,
where's my driver's
ID?
license?
Right.
Oh, shit. I left it at a crime scene. Like, what?
That's how you know he's not a, like, criminal. Because
Yes.
well, I
'cause
mean,
he's
I don't know.
not a criminal
Criminals
mastermind anyway.
He's certainly not that.
So he wants to know where they went. He plays it first. I don't know.
Right. He's like, look, all right. It's the first time I've seen him in 3 years. He shows up looking for money. He got married. I wrote him a check. We went out to breakfast. I didn't think to ask where they were going. They didn't think to tell me.
So James Gandolfini gets the sign to cut open the palm of his hand in the back there.
Right. Well,
Because Walken doesn't like this.
Vincenzo
Yeah, he
talks
doesn't like
about
this answer.
Sicilians being liars.
And he himself is Sicilian.
Right. There's 17 things a man can do.
And 20
Women
that
have
a women
20.
can do.
Men
Mhm.
only have the 17.
Where you know they're lying.
Yeah, and like, you know, where I'm going to do some damage you're not going to be able to walk away from. So you better just tell me now.
So now Clifford wants that Chesterfield.
Yep.
Because
that
he's about to
Chesterfield.
give-
We're having a Chesterfield,
He's about to give the Moors speech.
which we're not going to repeat.
We're not going to say it.
You
Y'all
all know
love
what it is. Y'all love it.
You
This
know
is
it
Quentin's
already?
apparent finest moment.
And we're not going to repeat it.
No, we certainly aren't. You know what it is.
There's too many N-words in this for us
They're
to
also
repeat
laughing
it.
like, holy shit, this fucking guy.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
like
they're almost-
gobsmacked. Like,
Right.
is he for fucking real?
Quentin loves this shit, doesn't he?
He does.
Quentin loves this shit, doesn't he? This is what he got in lieu of feet.
Yeah, he got to do this and have all his N-words.
They're like, okay, no feet, but we'll do the.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a lot. And yeah, it's a lot.
So he gets the kiss of death,
Yes, he gives
Little
them a little
cheek kiss.
smoochies.
whispers something to his crew,
Mm-hmm.
walks back and shoots Clifford repeatedly in the head.
He's like, I haven't killed anybody since 1984.
Spits on his body.
Right? So now this other guy finds Dickie's number on the fridge. He's
Yeah,
like, hey,
like, "Hey,
boss,
boss."
prepare to be happy.
Mhm.
I don't think he was quite that cartoonish.
So, yes.
But, you know, maybe he was.
So unfortunately the address was there the whole time. So I
Yep.
presume what we're supposed to get from this is he did this to not get. He knew they were going to kill him regardless. He's aware
So that's why
who
he
they
told
are,
that
and so
whole
he's like, well,
fucked up
whatever.
spiel.
They're going to do what they're going to do, and I'm going to die, and I don't feel like getting tortured for 6 hours
Right,
before I get
so
shot. So
I'm
could
just
you
gonna
just
say
I'm
this
going to
whole-
offend you so bad that you just shoot me in the face.
Right, and apparently that's a real easy way.
That's, I guess, how you piss off a Sicilian.
Apparently so.
At least in 1993
Christopher
in the
Walken
mob. Yeah.
In the mob in Detroit.
And before we finish this film, we're going to take a
Mm-hmm.
quick break.
Before we head to LA.
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 For tacos. They don't have tacos though, but
No, they don't.
they don't
do
eat
they?
any tacos in LA.
That's where they went wrong.
It was in the 90s. It wasn't quite time yet.
no,
It wasn't
really
time for
wasn't.
tacos
It
yet.
Wasn't taco time.
It was like Taco Bell time only.
Oh,
You know, with sad
Noggles
tacos.
at least.
Oh, Noggles though.
Mm.
Okay.
Anyway,
we're
we'll
gonna
take a break. Am I supposed to do that?
Hey, you guys!
Guess what we got for you?
Ooh, it's a surprise.
Discounts, discounts, discounts.
Ooh, get there now.
8bitzombie.com. I'm telling you, I got some shirts from there. I got some stickers from there. This is good quality shiz.
Yes, else we wouldn't be telling you about it right now.
He throws in some little extras, like some cool trading cards, like Mr. T, Jurassic Park, stuff like that.
Before he even knew.
Yes,
She
that was just.
was.
I found them online. I ordered some shirts because I couldn't find a Chainsaw and Dave shirt anywhere else.
No.
Or a cartoon Beetlejuice shirt anywhere else.
No, and that Bebop shirt, I want it.
So 8, BITZOMBIE.com, code DOOM. DOOM for 10% off. Get over there now.
Today.
And we're back. Christmas blasting as they arrive at Dick Ritchie's house.
Right? That makes me think of LA.
LA, yeah.
Aerosmith.
And Dick's still asleep and Floyd's awake, his roommate, but
he's the
can't even hear the
fucking
fucking door because
guy.
he's so stoned.
He's on the couch, and I guess he was inspired by Quentin Tarantino's many roommates coming up.
And then
in
the
LA.
bong was something that Tony Scott's friend did one time or
made
something.
a honey bear bong, and everybody had a honey bear
Oh,
bong.
yeah,
I
that
had
was
a
just
honey
a
bear
thing.
bong. Everybody made a honey bear bong.
Yeah. And now
You
there's
just had it
a
because
ceramic honey bear bong
you can
called
get,
Floyd
like, a
that's like an
fancy
art
one.
thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like an art piece in a museum.
you can still go to the grocery store,
yeah, and get a
yourself
honey bear.
honey bear, and you can make yourself a bong.
It's easy to do if
We
you
should
need
just do it.
instructions.
I don't know why
Doom
we didn't
Generation
do it for
Podcast at
this.
gmail.com. Oh, we should have made a honey bear bong
Oh,
for
why
this.
didn't we make a fucking honey bear
Damn,
bong?
didn't even occur to me.
Well, by the time this comes out, we can make a honey bear bong, and we can do a thing for the release
Take a video.
with honey bear. Honey bear.
So, surprise, it's Clarence
Yep.
in Alabama.
He's there, and Dickie tells him that he's auditioned. Dickie, that he auditioned for the new T.J. Hooker.
And is Floyd watching Stay Tuned?
I don't know.
I swear
think it says
later it's
what
something
it
different,
is,
but right then it was like a lady yelling in a storm, and I thought it was that scene where the
I feel like it was on
Satellite-
that list, and it didn't stand out to me. I feel like I would have realized.
Okay, I
that
don't
it
remember
said
what he
stay
was
tuned, but I don't know.
watching,
Maybe I didn't look at anything at all.
I'm not sure. I just put a question. Is he watching
I think
Stay
it
Tuned?
says on the little list of like the things that he's watching or things that they're watching. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Because, yeah,
He's
there's a few
high.
times we see people watching TV.
Right. Yeah. There's things in the background.
So, yeah, he's talking about audition for TJ Hooker, and
Right.
Dick leaves just in his boxer shorts. They don't even let him get dressed.
Right.
They're
like,
dragging
"We're
him
going out to
around
get
LA in
breakfast."
his
Yep,
boxers
they
and
probably
his
went
dirty
to Johnny's
shirt.
Broiler or whatever.
One
and, like,
doesn't even show them get food. It just shows them
No.
go straight to the Safari Inn.
Right.
Honeymoon suite.
Yeah. And did he have pants on at this?
No, he had boxers still. I
Still?
checked.
But yeah.
And they take him in to show him their big score, this big suitcase full of cocaine.
He's like, I don't want to do this.
They're like, don't you have connections? He's like,
He's like,
no.
not with people that like.
I'm
He's like, if you want me
nobody.
to sell a little bit at a time, like fine, but
He's like,
I
I
don't
know this
know
is going to be
anybody.
too difficult. And so Clarence gives him his puppy dog eyes.
Mhm.
All right, I know one guy.
Right, this guy that's in my acting class.
He's an assistant to a big producer who can afford and use this amount of cocaine.
Right, and his name is Elliot Blitzer.
Get him on the phone.
Right, so he calls up Bronson Pinchot.
Mm-hmm. And arranges a
man.
meeting. And Alabama wants to meet at the roller coaster.
Right, she's like, where should we meet? And she's like, on a roller coaster. And this has to be Six Flags, right?
Oh, I didn't look it up, but that makes sense.
It seems like it would, if they were actually in that area that looked like Viper.
Yeah.
Maybe it
So-
was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But anyhow, here come Balky.
Yes. Here come Balky.
The what?
And
It was Stay Tuned. And
it was Stay
Oh, it
Tuned?
was Stay Tuned.
Nice. And what else?
Free Jack.
Free Jack was
Oh,
the other
okay.
movie they were watching. Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, and at this point, Dick is still in his boxers. I have a note.
Yes.
At getting out to the. So they took him to the amusement park and everything, just in his chonies.
Wow, that was like the entire day. What a whirlwind.
Yes. And Elliot wants to know where he got this coke, and he tells this made-up story, which gets him into trouble later, or causes
he
more trouble later.
Talks about a cop that he knows got access to the evidence locker
and
he
snagged this whole suitcase and
saw his opportunity
over a
and took
year
it.
ago.
Right, and he's just been laying low, and that's why he asked me, because he kind of wants to be a silent partner.
And they get on, and I know Elliot's nervous and distracted, but why did he agree to get in the very front seat of a roller coaster when he clearly does not do well with roller coasters?
This would be me. I'd be crying too. Like I don't.
So they do the whole deal. He gets him to agree to whatever because he thinks he's gonna die on this roller coaster. Basically, he says his eyes closed.
Right?
He's crying
like he
by the
barfs
end
afterwards. He's throwing up
in a cup.
I know.
Why? There's trash cans. There's bushes. Why are you throwing up in a cup in the eating area,
If you're
Elliot?
gonna spew,
And it's all over
spew
his-
into this.
His
I know
sweater
his ascot.
sleeves. Yes. I'm like, how did you throw up exactly? Like, you get everywhere. Yes.
Like he made it through the ride. It's not like he
I
did it on
know.
the ride.
Anyway, Clarence is, do I look like a beautiful blonde with big tits and an ass that tastes like French vanilla ice cream? Why are you telling me all this bullshit? You want to fuck me?
Like, yeah. So
And he wasn't even really bullshitting him. He was just telling him, like,
I don't
know if I can help you sell this fucking cocaine.
Right.
Whatever.
It's like he's got people that he deals with. It's safe. We know these people. And given what happens later,
he should have stuck to that fucking feeling.
How he got himself in his predicament
That's
is
true.
his own fucking fault. But anyhow.
But Clarence knows he wouldn't be here if they weren't interested. So he makes him get his boss on the phone.
He's like, call him up right now. And he's like, Elliot, it's Sunday. Why are you calling me and talking about this shit on my phone? Prank caller again.
Seriously.
And did we even talk about how this was split up with Natural Born
We
Killers?
did not. We talked about it in the Natural Born Killers episode.
I think we
but
might
we didn't,
have.
we didn't talk about it here.
Okay, so maybe we don't have to because we already
But yes, this
covered
was
that.
originally going to be all
It
one.
was like a long ass fucking story, but this was originally part of Natural Born Killers.
Right.
So if you need to know about that, go back
Google
and listen
it
to our Natural
or listen
Born
to
Killers
our Natural Born
episode.
Killers episode. So Clarence, though, he knows about speaking in code on the phone.
Exactly, and he talks about all smooth about Dr. Zhivago and how he's
I got a movie to sell.
And that'll run forever.
And he doesn't have time for courting. And like,
No.
is Lee drinking a Crystal Pepsi?
That's what
I
it
swear to
looked like.
God, Lee's driving down the road at 100 miles per hour in his fucking convertible drinking a Crystal Pepsi.
I mean, why not? Why wouldn't Lee? Why wouldn't Lee?
So he sets up an appointment. He gets Elliot back on the phone and sets it up. Bring the whole crew because he
Bring the
mentions
whole
Dick
cast,
and all
Wednesday,
this stuff. Whatever.
3 p.m. at the hotel.
And Floyd
And
is
never
back.
call me again.
Yes, don't call
Especially
me on
not
a
on
Sunday. So Floyd's back on the couch watching TV, smoking his bong when James Gandolfini arrives. Virgil.
Exactly. And he's like, are you Dick? And he's like, nah, man. I'm,
You know my friend Clarence and his wife
oh,
Alabama?
yeah, they were here, whatever. So he's like, oh, they went to the
Safari Inn.
Motel.
Yeah.
And it's not.
And then he's like, you want to watch TV? Like, he invites this stranger in
Right,
to
well,
watch TV and
he
wait.
knows his friends, man. Like, whatever.
Floyd.
And then after he leaves, like, don't condescend to me, man. I'll fucking
Kill you, man.
Which all
Like,
that was
sure, Floyd.
improv or ad libs or whatever.
Like, didn't they say
Brad Pitt.
most of Floyd's
Most of
stuff
it,
was?
yeah, he
it
did
wasn't
it.
even going to be a stoner, right? And didn't it say that too?
It was something like that. Like he just made
exaggerated
this
it.
character. Like he just became.
And
I
I
feel
think-
like Brad Pitt's a little Floyd. Like,
Oh,
or at
yeah,
least he was
for
at
sure,
some
for
point.
sure.
Maybe in the beginning days, like he was the guy on the fucking couch.
Well, that's why I think someone tells us later at the end about how this is one of his favorite roles. It's like, of course, he probably was really getting high.
oh yeah,
And all he had to do was just lay around and act like a stoner.
Right?
Like he didn't have
I
to
could do
try
that,
hard. And
no
he's like,
problem.
oh, be me? Okay. I can do this.
I'm doing this anyway.
So Clarence and Alabama pull back up to the Safari Inn, and she heads in to get all soapy and watch X-rated movies while
Until
he
you're
heads
back
out
in my
for
loving
food.
arms. He's going back out for food, and then man, when she
Virgil's
gets back up to
waiting.
the room, Virgil's up there waiting for her, and she plays it real cool.
She
She's
does.
like,
But I would have turned around and immediately, when I
just
saw him with the shotgun, I wouldn't even shut
right
the
back
door.
out
I
the
would have been
fucking
right
door.
back down that hallway. I would have done a Dick Richie. Pew! Catch me if you can.
Bulla, bulla, bulla,
Yes,
pew!
exactly. I would have Scooby-Doo ran out the
Right?
back.
I had a Scooby Doo out that bitch, and he's like, "Where's our Coke? Where's Clarence?" And she's like, "I don't know what you mean. My name's Sadie."
And we don't have Coke, but there's a Pepsi machine down,
right
the hall.
hall, and he like gets up, like, "Give me your hand. You are so cute."
Takes her shades
Oh,
off.
man.
That alone, him taking her fucking glasses off and touching her face, like, oh, get your fucking hands off me. So you know it's about to go bad. He asks her to do a little turn for him.
And then he just,
Oh, as she comes
Right in
back
the
around,
fucking face.
face meets fist.
man,
And
and she would
Clarence
have
is-
Tony Scott slap her.
Right.
She would ask for the persuader to come to the set, which meant she needed to be slapped. To
get
do
into
the scene
fucking-
right, to get into character, she
Yeesh.
needed to be slapped.
Oh.
My goodness.
I think just a threat would get me into character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, they just did differently back then.
And so she proceeds to take the beating of a lifetime
Holy shit! She
from
gets,
this big ass man.
she gets the shit beaten out of her. She gets the holy hell beaten out of her.
And she is not giving in. She's
Nope.
giving him the
She's
finger and
like,
laughing.
Yeah, fuck
middle
you,
of punches.
whatever. And like, meanwhile, Clarence is out there getting burgers and chili fries
Fucking
and
talking
Diet
about
Coke.
Elvis with strangers.
Yes,
Clarence.
it's like he does. Well, he doesn't know she's getting
That's
the shit beat
true.
out of her.
He doesn't even think about anyone even being after them. But
Like, so-
again, you left your ID in the dead guy's hand.
I know he's not a criminal. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Ugh.
So anyway, we're back at the hotel room, and Virgil's telling you think your boyfriend would go through this shit? He already fucking did.
Yes, he did.
So she's like,
she knows.
She's holding it down. She's like, she gives him the finger, and she fucking laughs.
Yes, and so he's giving her his little speech about
man.
first kills, and she sees the Swiss Army
And
knife.
this again, the fucking Charles Whitman story, where he's like, when Charles Whitman climbed the fucking clock tower, Scagnetti and
yes,
his mom,
yes.
fucking Quentin Tarantino must have been obsessed. And then earlier today, it was earlier today, I was watching my murder shows, and one of them was the Walt Whitman.
Whitman's chocolates? What are we
Yes.
talking about?
Werther's Originals.
We got a sampler?
The Charles Whitman thing was on the thing I was watching earlier, and then when this came up, I was like, "Oh yeah!" And that's in Natural Born Killers. Scagnetti
That's right.
gets his
That's
mom
right.
or whatever. So yeah, and he's like, "That was the bitch of the bunch," and
He notices that the fucking suitcase under the bed, and he's like,
"Is it under the
"Oh,
bed?
did you put the
I
cocaine
can't
under the bed?"
believe I didn't check under the fucking bed.
He could have been in and out of there before anybody
I
even
know.
came home. All he had to do was look under the bed.
Oh, that's all he had to do. So she sees that Swiss Army knife.
Oh, and when she grabs that Swiss Army knife when he turns around, and her face,
I know, when she
all
like just puts it
snot
up,
and
like, she's
saliva and
fucked
blood
up.
and tears just
Oh,
running
my
down her
God.
face. And he's like,
"You got a lot of heart, kid.
"You want to play with Daddy?
Yeah,
Give
go
you
ahead,
one
stick
shot.
me."
Stick
And
me,
she
baby.
plunges
Stick it in
right
Daddy."
into the top of his
Ooh,
fucking foot.
He's thinking
She
she's gonna
breaks-
get him in the chest. He like opens his shirt.
Nah, she fucking puts it in the top of his foot, breaks Elvis over his fucking head.
All right, no more,
No more
Mr.
Mr.
Fucking
Nice guy. Oh my God, he throws her through the shower door.
Oh, and she's like,
Wait!
and she just starts laughing.
You look ridiculous. And he goes to check. Like,
I-
really?
Is that really in the utmost of your thoughts right now? Whether you look ridiculous,
Right. And he's like, "Oh, fuck you." And he gets in there and she rubs like soap or
Yeah,
some
she gets
shit
like
in his
shower
eyes.
gel or something.
And like
Smashes
bashes his
him
head,
over the head
with
with
the
the
toilet
toilet
tank.
tank.
Yes,
Oh.
bitch. And oh my God, the fucking hairspray.
He
and
goes to pull his gun, and she like torches him with a lighter and
Holy
hairspray.
shit. She stabs him up. She shoots him
Oh.
so many
I
times.
put she kills him extra dead.
Oh my
She
God.
makes
She like the
sure.
feminine urge to beat
Yes.
the aggressor to death with the butt of a fucking shotgun.
That is one thing
I
that
was
Quentin
almost
Tarantino
in
understands
tears.
about the woman's condition. He does get that right.
He does in fact get that right, because fuck.
A woman unchained. Just
Yes.
fucking.
The release.
The
Yes.
release, the fucking
And Clarence comes into her beating his corpse with the gun.
Right,
And
he's like,
she's
"We gotta
just like,
go.
oh,
We gotta
fuck,
get out
baby.
of here now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The
Oh,
cops
and he
are
feels
fucking
terrible,
coming."
of course.
I know. Well, he didn't know shit was gonna happen because again, they have not thought.
Yes, they're not criminal
any of this through.
masterminds. She was a call girl for 4 days, and he was a comic book shop clerk.
Right.
So
And
we're
they're-
really prepared for this
They
lifestyle.
both have delusions. They don't know what they're fucking doing. So now,
And why did Lee let Elliot drive his convertible to begin with?
well, because okay, we did forget to mention that tagged on to the end of that original meeting, Elliot was like, "I want a sample bag." Because
Yes,
he was just
or
asking
Lee
for
did.
himself.
Oh, he was
no,
asking for
says-
himself because
well,
Lee didn't say that.
Because he had that massive fucking bag of Coke. Like, you know, if Lee
And that's a
wanted it,
sample bag. That was like
that was so
a
much
lot
Coke.
of Coke.
That would last me a year.
You should get like an 8-ball is all he needed at max
That's
for a sample bag.
A gummer's a sample.
Yeah, just to make sure it's real and uncut.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, he gave him like an ounce. I don't know fucking
I don't
measurements
know
for
how to
cocaine.
say-
He gave him a lot. I don't know. A big like a sandwich
grip?
baggie full.
It was a grip.
He gave him a grip of cocaine.
He had a grip of cocaine.
That was like 6 scat pens. No, that was
No,
those scat
that was
pens.
like
That
a-
would have been like a whole box of scat pens. Was how much cocaine was in there.
Excuse me.
So he is hauling ass down the highway, getting
He's
roadhead,
tooting around, high as fuck.
and the fucking cops pull him over.
Who is that girl? Who's
Oh,
that
she looks real
girl?
familiar too.
Du-du-du-du-du-du-du.
It wasn't Madonna.
No. Keenest.
And he's trying to get her to hide this coke for him, and she's like,
"No,
fuck
you. I'm not putting.
I
that
love
in
her.
my purse.
She's just
I know.
no
She's
to
like,
everything
no,
he says.
I'm not doing that
not
shit.
doing
And then he
that.
makes the mistake of calling her a whore.
And she slaps that bag of coke right up into his face.
Do you see what God just did to you, man?
And so when the cop walks up, he's just covered like powdered sugar all over his face.
Powdered sugar.
So now he's at the police station with Chris Penn and Tom Sizemore.
I just wrote, "Here comes Scagnetti."
Right? With Scagnetti and Dimes.
Right, Nikki Dimes.
It's your worst nightmare.
Right, they're playing bad cop and bad cop.
Because he tells the story about thinking this cocaine came
Cocaine
came from a dirty cop. So now they're all invested. Like, oh, a dirty cop. Like
we gotta have the internal
fucking
investigation, and we don't care as long as we get the collar. And they gotta be like coked out themselves, right? Like they were super excited,
right? So yeah, he's gonna agree to wear a wire.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
all stoked.
He's gonna wear a wire. Like we do this shit all the time. Everything's totally safe, even though it's fucking not. It's not. It's
Don't
not
do it,
fucking
y'all.
safe. If they tell you to do that shit, just never ever
Snitches get snitches.
ever
get
talk to
stitches.
the cops. Don't ever fucking talk to the cops.
Right?
Ever.
And meanwhile, Clarence is cleaning up Alabama's wounds on a dirty butt shroom
Oh my
couch
god,
at the
it's
airport.
the butt shroom couch from the fucking The Craft. It's been
This is
out
where
there
you're cleaning
since
her
then.
wounds in this disgusting
Yeah,
couch.
She's gonna get face shrooms.
And he's doing a terrible job.
Oh, I know, it's not very good.
He's got like a whole CVS worth of bandages, and she is still covered in blood, and she is not
Right.
bandaged at all. He's just
Like,
like
he didn't
dabbing
even,
at
like,
her wounds
lick
with
the-
gauze.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like you didn't get any water or like
I know.
something.
I bet he got fucking chili burgers. He always do.
Well, he probably fucking. They probably didn't even get to eat their chili
No, I'm
fries
sure
or their
they
chili
didn't.
burgers.
I
'cause
didn't
it
even
was-
see him have it in his hand, as a matter
Well,
of
because
fact.
he probably heard the
He must
commotion.
have heard.
He dropped
yeah,
it out there
dropped
somewhere.
it in the hall. So she wants to go to Cancun,
Sounds like a movie. Clarence in Alabama go to Cancun.
and he tells her not to worry. Everything's going to work out for them because they
Well,
deserve it.
Yep,
But he looks
promises.
like he doesn't believe what he's
He's not
selling her.
entirely sure, but he kind of believes it in a way because so far everything's kind of lined up with his fantasy, except for
except
her getting the shit beat out of her.
shit beat out of her.
Yeah, he did not see that coming.
No.
That's a little real, but like
Mhm.
from how he treated Drexel because of the way that Drexel treated her, like he's
Mhm.
ready to. He's doesn't give a shit. He'll
Yeah.
kill. He'll kill for her.
So back at Dick and Floyd's, they're
Mhm.
all back. They've regrouped there. She's got all
Right.
her 7 pounds of makeup on to cover her facial
They're getting
injuries.
ready to do the
her lip
deal.
is fat as fuck.
Oh my god, she's
Oof.
got so much makeup, like pancake fucking makeup on her face.
And they're about to leave when the phone rings. Dick got the part on TJ
Yeah.
Hooker.
And like it almost seems like he's gonna say, "I don't want
He
to go."
is. It does.
It's
like
like,
he
I don't wanna
stops,
go.
and then he doesn't tell
He's
him.
like, "Well, he's a mate. What can you do?"
Yeah, I think so.
That's how boys do.
So Vincenzo's boys
I
are
like it
locking
when
and
Floyd's
loading.
Like, go get some beer,
Yeah.
some cleaning,
Cleaning
products.
Yes. Why is that so funny?
I know.
So yeah,
Yeah,
the Vincenzo's boys are getting they have every gun known to man.
Right,
Which,
like,
like, if they really think they're just coming for Clarence in Alabama, why
Right,
did they
did
need
they
all of
he-
these guns?
Did they hear about what happened to Virgil?
They
Is
must
that the
have already, I
problem?
guess.
Because I mean, like he was fucked up.
He
like
was
if they
fucked
would have
up.
found that body, like
Mhm.
holy shit, she fucked him
She did.
up.
She did.
So yeah, like everybody.
Everyone's converging. Elliot's with
preparing.
the cops, getting nervous, testing
I'm
the
with
wire.
the Cub Scouts of America selling
Uncut
cocaine.
cocaine.
Uncut cocaine. Is this where he was selling his show? Did we talk about that?
We did not. Did you guys ever see the Bronson Pinchot project?
We saw a couple episodes. It was the most bizarre thing
It
I'd
was a
ever
reality
seen.
show where he
Is
was like
restoring an
upcycling
old-
or restoring
an
old furniture,
farmhouse,
farmhouse,
but
something.
like that was all period stuff,
and he
and it was all shitty.
yeah.
It was
yeah, he
ugly
didn't
and
do
it
well,
was shitty. It was not scrumptch.
but it was scrumptch.
It was not
According
scrumpch.
to Bronson
Oh,
Pinchot.
he loved. He was like, "Oh my god, this
This is
mercury back mirror that you
scrumpch.
can't see shit in. I'm gonna put this between a wheelbarrow and a couple of fucked up columns. It's so scrumpch.
It's so scrumpch.
Oh my god, these drapes are scrumpch.
He turned into Surge.
Yes.
He turned into Surge from Beverly Hills Cop
Oh
on
my
his reality
God.
show.
If you find that anywhere, if anybody could find that, send it to us because I haven't been able to
I
find
don't
that
know where it
no
is.
place. That was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen.
So they're assuring him they're the best at what they do and everything's going to be fine. And
Oh,
they've done
yeah,
this
they're
1,000
lying.
times. They're fucking full
They're
of it.
coked out and fucking lying. There was some story I heard about, like, some girl got busted for, like, weed or ecstasy pills or some shit. Like, she was, like, 19 or 20 or whatever. And the cops did this shit to her, made her, like, wear a wire and go do a bigger drug deal. And then she didn't want to do it, but she also didn't want that shit in her record.
Right.
And she got fucking killed.
Of course.
Of course she did.
Because this is what happens. Never cooperate with the filth.
So now it's time to go to the big transaction with Lee.
Yes.
So Dick and Alabama and Clarence are all
Everybody
getting
comes
ready to
on
meet
up.
Elliot. And Dick's like, what happened to your face?
Oh,
I got it
was
playing basketball.
Like, you really did that playing basketball?
She don't have no shoes to play basketball in. I've seen her shoes. She'd be wearing them little kitten heels
Well,
to
like,
play
Dickie's
basketball.
like, you got that?
Yeah, like really?
Playing basketball?
He doesn't
Like,
exactly believe it.
right.
And I wonder too if, because it seemed like he noticed her face before at the house when he acted like maybe he didn't want to go, and I feel like he was maybe going to ask him what happened.
What
to her
happened to
face?
her
Like you didn't
face?
do that, did you?
Right. Well, I don't think. Well,
Because they didn't.
Because
Because why wouldn't he have told? Well, I know why he didn't tell Dick what happened. Because Dick wouldn't have.
well,
helped
yeah,
him with
he
this
wouldn't have wanted to do
transaction.
any of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think he really thought that. I mean, he's known Clarence since forever. Well, maybe he hasn't
but
seen him in a
he's-
long time
yeah,
either.
True. So anyway, so they get there and Clarence has brought his gun just in
yeah,
case.
and he's like, "What'd you bring that for?" And he's like, "Well, I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it."
And they meet Elliot in the lobby, and when they get in the elevator, Clarence
Yes.
hits the emergency stop and gets fucking crazy.
Oh my God! Well, I liked beginning. Like Elliot's like, "Your motivation is to not go to jail." So yeah, he stops the elevator. Elliot, get on your knees. He pulls the gun. He's like, "What the
Oh.
fuck? What the fuck is waiting for us up there?"
And like, I didn't get the part where he's like, "Tell me that I'm the dumbest motherfucker on the planet."
Right,
Tell
you
me
must
he's
think
all
I'm the
dumb
dumbest motherfucker. Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, and the cops are
I
listening."
just
Like,
wish someone would take me away. I wish somebody would come in here and take me
and the cops
away.
are like, "He's gonna shoot him. He's not
He's
gonna
gonna
shoot him.
fucking-
He's
he's
gonna
gonna
fucking
shoot
shoot him."
him, yeah.
Like they have no
It's like,
idea.
because they start out like, I like this Clarence kid. Like, he's crazy, but I like him.
Yeah, well, yeah. After this, Tom
Yeah, that's
Sizemore
true.
is like,
He's
"I
like,
love this kid. He's
I love
fucking
him.
crazy."
He's fucking
'Cause, yeah, he
crazy.
lets him up. He hugs him. He
Well, 'cause
apologizes.
he almost seems like he was like, I just had to be sure. Like, he didn't really think that.
Yeah.
But if he would have fucking blown it,
yeah,
that would have been as far as it went. If he
Yeah.
would have lost his shit, if he would have pissed his fucking pants
yeah,
and told him for real, like, it's a fucking bust, it's a
Yeah.
fucking bust.
for sure.
Or started crying out for the cops instead of, I wish somebody would take me away.
Yes.
I wonder if Clarence would have shot him.
I don't know. Good question.
Because even Alabama's like hugging Dickie. Like,
yes,
oh
like, oh my
he
God, I
fucking
thought he was
kill
going
him.
to kill him.
I really thought, because nobody else knew that that was going to happen.
So Floyd is back there taking his bong rips when
Yes.
Vincenzo's dudes just walk in, guns drawn.
They show up. Yeah,
He's all,
Floyd tells
"Aw,
them,
man."
it's like, "Oh man, you want to smoke a bowl? Watch some TV."
Yes!
Oh, okay. So he just gives them directions. He's like,
yes,
"Yep,
here's
nope."
how you get to the Beverly Ambassador.
how
But he
you
gives
get
them
there.
stoner directions.
Well, yeah,
and you
like
go, and you just keep going,
and then you go right,
and you go right, and you just keep driving.
right, and then you drive a little while.
Directions I give
It's so bad. Thank God for GPS now.
I know, because it used to be like your stoner friend would try to tell you, and you had to print it out from MapQuest.
Yes, and then you're trying to read MapQuest off a
Right.
paper while you drive.
I know, and then I say like cell phones distract you, like
We were reading papers off
reading
or the
papers
fucking
off of
Thomas guide.
MapQuest, the Thomas guide, or a big box, a big fucking book of CDs.
Yes, exactly. We were always distracted.
We were always distracted. Smoking with the thing of CDs in your lap when you're
Or
driving
the
with your
visor.
knee, and you're fucking
You gotta pull your visor down. So
Yeah.
You can see your CD.
Yep.
yeah.
All right, so they get to the big meeting, and Lee's bodyguard, one of his bodyguards, lets them
Oh
in.
my gosh.
And he
Oh,
that's not that guy.
not
It was
that
first
one.
it's I
Right,
don't remember
it's the
this
other
guy's
guy. They're
name.
patting him down and whatever. Like
Clarence is like, "Look, you don't need to pat me down. Here's my gun."
right, and they're like, "Why would
And
you
they're
bring
getting all
that?"
pissed, but Lee comes out
He's like,
and like
"No,
interrupts.
I think it's gonna be fine. Like it's fine.
He offers to lay it down on the table, and Lee's like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we're
whatever.
good."
I don't think that's gonna be a problem." And it probably wouldn't be.
It wouldn't have been if all of this other stuff wasn't
None of this
happening.
would have been
If
a
it was
problem.
really just the people in this room involved, they would have been fine.
If Elliot hadn't have gotten busted,
Elliot, you look like shit.
yeah,
Yeah, he's all
because wearing
sweating
a fucking
bullets.
wire. I'm surprised he didn't get like electrocuted with how sweaty he fucking was
Right?
with that shit in
And
his balls.
His ball sack electrocution.
Shocked his balls. Ball shuckage.
So Lee wants to see Dr. Zhivago now. Is there a fucking doctor in the house
Is
or
there
what?
a doctor in the house?
And at this point, Vincenzo's guys have arrived in the lobby. Lee's cutting up his
first
tester
he's telling him,
lines.
like Clarence tells him about that coming home in a body bag. Is like
Oh,
the
yeah,
best
he's a big
movie, and,
fan.
like, they're watching the dailies, and it's a sequel. Body bags.
Body Bags 2.
Right, and he tells him, like, what is it?
When he's talking
Deer
about...
Hunter, which Christopher Walken is in.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
what was the other one that Dennis Hopper was in that he says? He says something else.
I don't remember.
Apocalypse Now?
I think he said next to Apocalypse Now, this is the best Vietnam film.
Was
I want to
Dennis
say.
Hopper in that?
I don't remember.
I don't know, but I know
Mad.
Christopher Walken was in Deer Hunter.
Okay. So, yeah, so he takes him outside. He's like, look, I think this deal is too good to be true. Come out here and convince me.
Right, and now Elliot's too far away.
Yeah,
his
and he's
balls are
scratching his
sweating.
balls and fucking up the transmission anyway.
They're almost not going to get it.
No.
Like, they're almost not going to get, because they need, like, that actual in words, I will give you this much money.
And
for
they're
this
using
much
Dr.
cocaine.
Zhivago and all this.
Like,
So
they're all being so cool.
they got to hear the actual
Right.
words said.
And they're like, come on, Elliot, you're too far away.
And that's when she
Bama's,
writes on the napkin,
You're so cool.
You're so cool.
Lee says, yeah, get the money. The pigs are like moving in.
And Clarence goes to the bathroom. They
Yeah.
give Bama the money. He's like, yeah,
he's
let
like,
her count
she
the
can
money.
Count it. I got to take a
I gotta
piss.
go talk to the king.
Elliot's laughing and like, Lee's like, why are you here? To Dick.
Oh,
He's
to
like,
Dick.
I'm
He's
an
like,
actor.
I'm friends with Elliot.
Right. Clarence goes to the bathroom. He goes in there and he talks to the mentor.
Who's in there
Again.
singing Heartbreak Hotel while he pisses.
Right. And he's like, you're cooler than cool. The cops bust in.
So yeah, the cops bust in the door while Clarence is in the bathroom, and the
Right.
bodyguards immediately do not play.
Oh, no. They're like, first thing you got to know about me is I hate cops.
And that's the blonde one, Brutus or Boris or fucking whatever
Boris.
his name is.
Mhm.
He is Little John in
Right,
Robin
and
Hood
Robin
Men
Hood
in
Men
Tights.
Because we're like, who is he?
We're like, who is this guy? He looks so familiar.
I was like, he looks
And
like
he's
a
on
wrestler.
a ton of TV
A bunch of
shows. We
TV
looked it up.
shows.
He's
was
in a
not
ton
a
of
wrestler.
shit.
He looks like Stone Cold
His
Steve
name
Austin
is Eric
now.
Allen Kramer, if you're curious who we're
Well,
talking about. But he's in a ton of
fucking ride or
shit.
die. They took this
Oh, yeah,
security thing like way fucking serious.
I know, because Lee's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hold
It's
up,
the
these are
cops.
fucking cops.
And he's like, and meanwhile, fucking Clarence still, he doesn't hear any of this.
No, he's not hearing any of this
And now
shit.
Vincenzo's boys arrive.
The
Put him
gangsters
down, put him
show up. They show up. It's like a Mexican,
Alabama
Italian
and Dick and Elliot are in the middle.
standoff.
And Lee like, what the
What
fuck?
the fuck
With
is
their hands
happening?
up.
They're like the only ones that
Put
don't
him
know what's
down,
happening.
put him down.
Everybody's yelling, and
How
now
that bathroom must have been soundproof.
right? I was like, he heard none of this.
None
He's
of
too
it.
busy having
Not
a
till he
delusion.
Because he used to get in Heartbreak Hotel. He was getting, it was covered.
I feel so lonely, baby. I feel so lonely.
And Elliot starts calling out, Officer Dimes!
Right?
Officer Dimes. And Lee's like,
How do you know his name? How does
what?
he know your name?
oh, you piece of
you
shit.
piece of shit. You little piece of shit. Burn your fucking SAG card.
Yep, and he picks up the coffee
Fuck
and
you.
throws it on Elliot, which
Right?
the cops shoot him for?
Well, he moved.
I guess.
They're cops. That's what they do.
And then an absolute bloodbath
Oh, fucking
begins.
now everybody's shooting. Everybody's fucking shooting. Everybody's getting fucking shot. Bama and Dickie hit the deck.
They are okay because they hit the floor.
Right. Everybody else is fucking shooting. There's feathers everywhere. It's very John Woo.
Yes.
Clarence finally comes out
And
gets
immediately gets shot.
right in the face.
Mm-hmm. And she
And-
screams
Oh
out,
my
crawls
God,
across
she
the
just
floor. Oh, this
crawls
hole.
across to it. It's so
Yes. And then Dick throws the cocaine bag in the air.
right. And he fucking bails.
And it gets shot
He's
up.
like,
There's
I'm
powder
fucking-
everywhere. And he goes,
Off he
yeah,
goes.
he Scooby-Doos it down the hall.
Absolutely. I would.
Hell yeah.
I would. I wouldn't look back.
And
I wouldn't
freaking,
look back.
so the last couple cops and Sicilians are having a standoff while
Right.
Bama's over here snotting all over what she
Oh,
thinks is
man,
her
she-
husband's
yeah.
corpse.
And it's just, by the time it's just like the one guy behind.
It's
the
like
couch,
Dimes and some other dude behind one thing,
Uh-huh.
and then like one or two
one
of the
other
Sicilians
guys
are
back
left.
there. And he throws the shotgun over, but
But he
then
has another gun.
Pops up with the handgun, and he shoots one officer in the guts, and he dies in the feathers. Now it's just Chris Penn left, and now the security guy that hates cops is like, I need an ambulance.
Yeah, I'll call you a hearse, and shoots him
he
for
fucking
Cody.
Shoots him. This one's for Cody.
And then Bama shoots Dime. She's like, fuck
Right,
you.
fuck
She's tired
you.
of this. She's like,
I know, it's
let's
too much
kill
shit.
everybody. And now
Right?
Clarence is waking up. He's not dead.
Miraculously, they get up. He takes the money. They put on shades, and he sneaks out. Past, 'cause
Walks
there's
right
a
past the cops.
hostage situation
Yes,
down in the lobby
Because
now
there was dudes left down in the
they're
lobby.
down in the lobby. So they just walk right out the front door.
And Alabama drives them into the sunset
right,
to the
they go
Mexican
off
border.
to Mexico, and then amid the chaos of that day,
When
I
all
look-
I could hear was the thunder of gunshots, and all I could smell was the violence in the air.
and I look back at those 3 words occurring over and over again in my head. Right,
You're
Like,
so cool. You're
You're
so
so
cool.
cool. You're so cool.
Cut to them years later on a beach in Cancun with their little
Mm-hmm.
son, who's like 2 or 3.
Right. Clarence always asks what it would have done if he would have died that day.
She would have just wanted to die too, but things would have just gone on.
Mm-hmm.
Except for she might not have named their son Elvis. And they live happily ever after.
Right. Which wasn't supposed to happen. He
It
was
was
supposed to
not.
die.
So
he was
we-
supposed to die.
So take out your notes, Tessa, because we got a new section to cover.
Yes, we have a new section.
So last week or maybe the week before, I did a thing where I
Not
put out on
last night,
social
but the night
media
before.
when I was watching the movie that, like, hey, if you comment or whatever, we'll read it on the show. Wow, you guys.
Yeah,
You
we got
love true romance. So much
people
so
love it.
that we have a new section called Doomers Declare.
The doomers doth decree.
And we are going to read many
So many.
responses to true romance. Do you want to start us off?
Sure. I'll do it. Patron Aaron says the slight cameo of Val Kilmer as Elvis was better than most any other depiction of him,
All right.
which would have been nice if we could have seen it. I've seen pictures.
I know. I've only seen him blurred in the mirror.
I've seen pictures, like still shots of him in the Elvis drag, and yeah, it's pretty good. Not as good as his Jim Morrison though.
Oh, I like his Jim Morrison better than Jim Morrison's Jim Morrison. I don't like Jim Morrison. I like Val Kilmer playing Jim Morrison.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Cat _1701 says, my current partner of 3 years introduced me to this movie 15 years ago. That night, I fell for him. Cat, we have a math problem here.
Right.
15 years ago, you fell for him, but they've only been a partner for 3 years?
Interesting.
All right. You had a little unrequited love there for a few years.
Interesting. Get at us, Cap.
What's going on there?
What's going on there? So Antonio from the Coltworthy says, your show is pretty, but not as pretty as a couple of titties.
Bearded Amoeba says, I've yet to see anyone take an ass beating like Patricia Arquette. Sheesh!
Holy
Wow,
shit.
she
like
sure did.
chills.
And to be actually in real life asking to get slapped to get
Right?
into the fucking mood for this.
To
Yeah.
get into the
Or
don't
whatever, get into the
slap
character.
Me, I am not in the mood. I left my condo for this.
I'm not in character. Smack me around.
Yeah, I need the persuader. Josh says, just like his cameo in Pulp Fiction, Walken should have won an Oscar for the 5 minutes he was in the movie. I never knew eggplant was a racial slur until I saw this movie. I didn't either. Patricia Arquette's snaggletooth still haunts my dreams.
Hopefully wet dreams.
Ooh, it haunts mine. Gary Oldman is the greatest pimp in the history of film.
I don't know. I haven't seen all of the films with pimps in them to make that judgment call.
I don't know. That's a bold statement.
Spade Design says the comic was not Spider-Man #1. It was Sleepwalker #8 with guest appearance from Deathlock, and nothing Clarence said happens in that issue. But mad props to my man. He pulls from just talking about comics. A true legend. And he also said Brad Pitt says Floyd was one of his favorite characters to play.
Oh, that makes sense for sure. He just got to show up and smoke bowls on a couch. What's not to love? Oh, Leo from Movies on Weed podcast says Brad Pitt made the Honey Bear Bong iconic and also one of the scariest roles Gary Oldman has ever done, and that's the truth.
I don't know. Was he
On 2
scarier in
counts.
Dracula?
I mean, I don't know
When
if
he was an old man, he was scary to Keanu.
That's
when he
true.
was old,
I guess
butt
so.
hair
Well, I don't know.
Dracula.
Like we discussed earlier, Drexel had to be wild
Yeah,
to
true.
be in the position that he was in. So yeah, maybe.
Patron Billy Joseph Jr. says, I lusted so bad for Patricia Arquette in this movie as a 19-year-old. Wore out the VHS.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Jeff from A Film By podcast says, True Romance is the greatest Tarantino film, not directed by Tarantino. It's an all-time favorite of ours, and you're so cool for covering it.
Cult Film Companion says, according to Tarantino, the only change Tony Scott made to the script was having Clarence survive. It's Tarantino's most personal script and one of his best. Quite easily one of the best casted movies ever. Loses points for the lame Aerosmith song, though. That was a weird choice. There could have been a better song for that.
Like, I don't know what.
That was a weird one.
I don't
Welcome
know one
to
off
the
the top of my.
Jungle?
Yes, even Welcome to the Jungle would have been
Would have
better.
been better. Space.
Mom loves that song.
My mom loves that song. Space Castle Pod said, "Rest in peace, James Gandolfini. He was incredible and scary in this film. That's true.
Yes, he was.
He was
Scary as
very
fuck.
menacing.
He was.
Very menacing. And yeah, so well, rest in peace to him and half this fucking cast.
Yes. Doomsday History's Most Dangerous podcast says, True Romance is my favorite Bronson Pinchot movie role and my least favorite Michael Rapaport role. The xylophone music was better than Rapaport.
Boom, 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 boom.
I mean, if the character was written to be an annoying up-and-coming actor,
Then, yeah, he nailed it.
Did the assignment. I don't know.
He nailed it. Well, you should definitely check out the Bronson Pinchot project.
Yes.
Since you
Yes.
enjoyed that so
And
much. You're
Second
sure.
Sight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Second Sight. If you guys haven't
Oh,
seen the
yes.
Bronson Pinchot movie, Second Sight,
It's
check it out.
scrumptch.
It is scrumptious. It's
Super
so scrumptious.
scrumptious. The Krusty Boys podcast says, I fucking love this movie. Gary Oldman as the Rasta drug dealer and the walk-in hopper conversation is absolutely perfect.
Danny Brown says, absolute banger of a movie, right up there with the best scripts Tarantino and Avery have written, with expert direction from Tony Scott and an ensemble cast that didn't try to steal the movie in any way, no matter what scene they were in and who they were opposite.
There was no feet to steal the scene.
Diabolical podcast says, it's a fascinating insight into QT's psyche. I mean, right?
Right?
When you realize Clarence is his insert character, you're so cool. You're so cool. I love Bronson Pinchot in it. He really should be in more films. Brad Pitt's stoner is one of cinema's best stoners. I agree.
Nostalgicast says, my first QT experience. In hindsight, I think that Scott's decision to tell the story in chronological order takes some of the fun out of it, but watching it out of order might have been too much for my 16-year-old brain to handle. Movies were definitely not the same after that. So he was going to do
He was
like
gonna
Pulp
have
Fiction, where it was going to be out of order?
Be out of
Interesting.
order with that
Okay.
5-hour.
Oh, when it
script
was
that-
going to be
yeah,
the
when it
long,
was
long.
like that,
Okay,
it was-
okay.
I think it was all supposed to be out of. It might have just been this too, like because that was just what he was into.
Yeah.
He's just into that shit.
And we watched the director's. Oh, he wasn't the director. I would say we watched the
No.
director's cut, but
Yeah,
he didn't direct
wasn't
it.
the director. Movies 4 Days says, love this movie, a big favorite of mine, and has a rare distinction of being a Tarantino script directed by someone else. Maybe only 2 other movies share that trait.
Cy from Size Records in UK says, one of the all-time greats. Watched it recently and was shocked with the scene where Alabama gets assaulted in the motel. Had completely forgotten how badly she gets worked over. This and Pump Up the Volume were Slater at his peak.
Oh, man.
Oh, there should have been a space there. That
Oh,
next
I
part's
was like,
yours.
are you going to keep going? But
No.
no, Zero Dark Nerdy said, great script by Tarantino, wonderfully directed by Tony Scott, and unforgettable performances by Slater, Arquette, Gandolfini, Walken, Oldman, and Hopper. And don't forget Val Kilmer playing Elvis. The mentor.
Right.
Never would.
Cinematic Leap said, movie is an absolute cracker. It's an amazing cast and everyone brings their A game. It's a movie where the leads are great, but it's the support cast that makes it.
Fuxie says James Gandolfini and Brad Pitt are amazing in that small scene. Just 2 characters talking to each other, but it had that undercurrent of menace. When Gandolfini says maybe he'll come back later, chilling. Then Pitt with the condescend to me comment, hilarious.
Fred Schaefer says the ultimate urban fairy tale. A lonely boy and a lonely girl meet and fall in love and find some magic powder that sad people think will make them happy, but there are very bad men who will do anything to get their hands on it. In the end, they live happily ever after.
The powder of life. Jolion says, I know he's trying to get killed before he spills the beans, but that did not age well.
It wasn't okay when they said it.
It wasn't conceived well. It wasn't well then. It's not well
And then
now.
what was the story behind that speech? You said Quentin actually heard someone tell that story?
Somebody told him that story, and then he met somebody who was Sicilian, and then he told that person that story.
And they thought it was great
And
or
they
something?
thought it was great, and he had to remember that shit. So this is like his proudest moment. Is that Moore's speech?
Okay.
Is one of his proudest
right.
moments as a writer.
And Harry Scott from Death by DVD wrote a little novella for us.
Take a deep breath.
Dennis Hopper's monologue about the Moors is probably my favorite part, but it's a great tribute to Badlands. I love the ripoff scene. It's just like a fanatic love letter to the glory of Terrence Malick and Badlands, but the ultimate Americana. The romance of Charlie Starkweather and Bonnie and Clyde. Get rich or die trying. The American dream. Horatio Alger so strongly believed in. A massive studio, big budget drive-in movie for the ages. And James Gandolfini, gotta love him. Next to the Hopper shit, I for some reason lose my shit over, hey, get some beer and cleaning products. And the fucking condescend to me, man. I'll fucking kill you. That shit was amazing. And if you like a little more deeper of a dive into film, Harry's podcast, Death by DVD, will give you what you're looking for.
He gets in there.
He gets in there,
He gets
unlike
in
us.
the crevasse.
He does. So that's our Doom Biz for tonight. If you guys want to have your shit read on the Doomers Declare section of the show, get at us on Instagram. I will post when I'm watching a movie. And you can get at me on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck Elon Musk's pet project, whatever's happening. Yeah, Skeet. We're going to call it Skeeter. On Skeeter, get at me, and we will read these out on the show if I remember to ask the questions to begin with.
We'll
you know
try
how
to
I
do that
am.
and get to the Instagram tree.
Instagram, Doom Generation Pod, go to the bio, and the link tree has the links to all the things, the merch, the playlist.
That's all you need, man.
Yes,
Everything's
all
there.
of the stuff.
It's all there for you.
And
hey, till then, we'll talk to you next time.
Later, Doomers.